Oh, I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. We're live. Yes, the Casanovians. Oh, I'm not sure if it's a little bit glitchy there. Anyway, yes, the Casanovians. How to deal with rejection from women. Du-du-du-du-du. That's what we're going to be talking about today, fellas. How to deal with rejection. Meaty topic. So, I've been rejected more than anybody else that I know, simply because I put myself out there more than anybody else that I know. And if you follow my content, you'll know that I teach cold approach. Yeah, so I teach men such as yourself how to grow a big set of balls and approach women stone cold sober during the daytime. So no nightclubs, no social circles, no DM women on social media, no trying to strategically shag Susie through your social circle. It's just good old big set of balls, walk over, deliver your truth. Maybe she'll like you, maybe you won't, maybe she won't. But this is something that, regardless of your skill level, regardless of how long you've been approaching for, it's something that it always terrifies guys. Yeah, it's not necessarily the approach that terrifies them. It's the ice cold sting of reality. It's getting feedback from the world. And the first thing that I would say to you, and by the way, in this live stream, we're only just going to be scratching the surface. If you want to go even deeper and essentially just steal the exact system that my clients pay me thousands of dollars to help them implement, then first link below this video, you can access a free blog where I've essentially regurgitated everything that I know about how I actually get results from daytime cold approach in the modern world. I put that into the blog. So understand, I don't teach game, I teach anti-game. Okay? Game is dead. Yeah, the old way of doing things is over. Being this low value dude who's regurgitating lines and routines and telling every woman she looks French, those days are gone, right? The new way is anti game, which is not focused on attraction, it's focused on repulsion, not being attractive, being repulsive. And when I say being repulsive, I don't mean going around the streets, burping, shitting yourself, being ridiculously obnoxious. Although, if that is actually you, then fucking good luck to you. Being repulsive, what it really means is filtering for your women. Okay. So when I'm going out there and when my clients are going out there, we are not running game, we're running a filter. And yeah, you could say cold approach is a numbers game, but for me, it's more of a clarity game. So when I'm going out and when my students are going out, and really the way that I want you to start approaching, not the old way of doing game, hoping that women are going to like you, putting women on pedestals, going out there to get your ego gratified. That's the old way. The old way is dead. The new way is running a clarity game by running a filter. And what this means in plain fucking English is the majority of women are just not going to want to fuck you. And this is exactly what you want. In the same way that if you're running a business, you can't you can't take on every single person as a client. Okay, you've got your maximum capacity. Like if you're running a business and all of a sudden 100,000 new clients roll up at your door wanting to do business with you, you probably don't have the systems or the capacity in place to handle everybody. So rejection is necessary. Rejection is the filter doing its job. If I go out and approach, let's say, 20 women, maybe four of them are interested in me. Now, most guys would look at that and think, oh, but you got rejected by 16 women. It's like, motherfucker, those were just not my women, okay? So, really, when you're going out there, you're going out to find your fuck yes girls. The girls who just like you, okay? The girls who light up instantly. The girls who are playing with their hair, who are giving you the beautiful eye contact. They almost make it easy for you to succeed. Okay. This is the way that I'm approaching the game of approaching. I'm going out to find my women. And by doing that, I repel the rest. I repel the women who were never in the market for me in the first place. Now, I think what is so crucial to understand is when you are first starting with cold approach, you are going to hear lots of no's. And a lot of time, it comes down to a skill deficiency as well. So if you've not done 100 daytime cold approaches yet, then you just want to get those out the way as soon as possible and have the mindset of when you are going out there, rather than trying to avoid the no's or the undesirable outcomes or the, oh, I have a boyfriend, or oh, I'm just not interested, or oh, sorry, I don't have the time for this. You really have to force yourself to lean in to the perceived worst case scenario and already have fallen in love with that ahead of time. Okay, because the reason why so many guys are held back in not just with dating but in life in general is because they're scared of feedback. They're scared of having a mirror held up to them. But really, my definition of hell is when you look back at who you could have been. So even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's scary, even though nobody wants to hear no, at the end of the day, that's what's going to emotionally callous you into the man that you need to be. This is why I think daytime cold approach is the modern day rite of passage. We don't need to go into the wilderness anymore for 40 days and 40 nights and return as men. Everything's easy. Everything's comfortable. Oh, I'm horny. Porn. Oh, I'm hungry. Uber Eats. Oh, I'm bored. Netflix. So really, when you're going out there, you're not just doing it for the women, you're doing it to become a elite, highly capable human being who can handle whatever life throws at him. All right, one of my favorite mantras is throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. So when you are going out there and you are first starting with cold approach, expect to hear lots of no's. Expect to quote unquote be rejected. That is your rite of passage. If you're not being rejected, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're probably giving yourself lots of excuses. You're probably seeing women on a daily basis who you know you could approach, but you're thinking too many steps ahead. You're experiencing failure in advance and you're rejecting yourself on her behalf. So you're probably concocting some nonsense narrative, such as, oh, she looks busy, she looks bitchy, she looks like she might have a boyfriend. Whenever I'm working with my guys and they feed me all of these bullshit excuses, the thing that I say is, go find out. Oh, well, I think she looks busy, or I think she might be a man, or I think she's with that guy. Yeah, go find out, dude. Like, worst case scenario, you're correct. Well done. Yeah. And oftentimes, what I've found is when guys have got somebody like me in their corner who's heard all the excuses, who doesn't have time for their bullshit, then it allows them to take radical action. This is really what I get my guys to do. I just push them into more action than they've ever taken in their lives. Like I always say to you, 100 direct approaches is what it takes to start to develop proficiency, overcome a lot of these self-limiting beliefs, the fear of rejection, etc., etc. And then once you've done that, if you can be consistently approaching 20 beautiful women every single week, you're going to have a fucking incredible dating life. You're going to be dating women that you once labeled out of your league. You're going to rock up to venues with the sort of women who turn heads as soon as you walk into a venue together. And that is the thing that will, in my experience, allow you to handle rejection like a king. Because if you're so fixated on the emotion you want to feel, if you're so fixated on the end result, I find that that allows me to navigate the inevitable vicissitudes of life. I know I understand the school of thought, which is enjoy the process, dude. You know, just enjoy the journey, and I do get that to an extent. But I think a better mindset that's always helped me is I just get fixated on the thing that I actually want. Like, what is the end result here? So let's say you want an incredible girlfriend, then if you have already fallen in love with that experience ahead of time and you know the emotions that you want to feel and you can imagine how your life feels when you do have that beautiful girl on your arm and now you've got a life partner and now you're traveling the world and you introduce her to your friends and your family and you finally feel validated, you finally feel whole and you feel like you're worthy of receiving love from the feminine. Once you've fallen in love with those emotions, now you've got a clear why, now you've got clear direction. So all of the no's in between, it's almost like they don't phase you or they don't hurt you as much because you know what your end result is. It's kind of like when I first started making videos online. Like when I first started making content online, I was getting comments on the regular from guys who were telling me I was ugly, that I was a 4 out of 10 at best, that I looked physically disadvantaged. I was starting my cold approach career during the pandemic. So people were saying, oh, you shouldn't be approaching, you shouldn't be doing this. Why are you wasting these girls' time? Oh, you think you're a coach? Who do you think you are? Stay in your lane, yada, yada, yada. But because I was so fixated on who I wanted to become, all of this was just fuel to my fire. Yeah. But if I didn't have a clear goal, if I didn't know I wanted to be the best in the world, if I didn't know I wanted to be the best who'd ever done it, if I didn't know I wanted to actually turn this into a career, then I would have just crumbled. So if you are hearing lots and lots of no's right now and they are starting to hurt you, then it's important that you stay fixated on why you're actually doing this. Like, what is your why? What is your North Star? And I think a mindset that's always comforted me is no matter who you are just going to hear no's. You are going to get rejected. Everybody gets rejected, or certainly the guys who live the best dating lives, they've put their points on the board, right? They've got their reps. And I think there's different stages to being quote unquote rejected as well. So, when you're when you're first starting cold approach, you'll get lots of no's on the streets, but then maybe you start getting phone numbers, but maybe the phone numbers start flaking, and then the phone numbers stop flaking, and then maybe you start going on dates and the dates are not converting. Then maybe you start sleeping with women and the women don't want to see you after you've slept with them. It's this constant evolution of different points of contact to be rejected. But again, this is just part of the game. Like, you're not going to succeed. Well, in fact, the definition of succeed, I think it's kind of got lost in translation. To succeed really means to ascend to the next level. Like when a prince becomes a king, he has succeeded to the new level. So really, success is not so much acquiring a goal or an achievement. A lot of times it's just knowing that you've ascended to the next level in the hierarchy of your evolution. So if you are, let's say you're going out onto the streets and let's say all you know is no, let's say all you hear is rejection, rejection, rejection. Let's say you've not got a phone number yet, then it's also important for you to view rejection as feedback. Because I think there's a difference between sporadic rejection and successive rejection, because it's completely normal. If I go out today and I do 20 approaches, maybe 15 of the women are just not interested. Maybe 16 of them are not interested. Fine. These are just my fuck no's. I'm out there to find my fuck yeses. Again, read the blog underneath this video, first link below. You can read my entire anti-game art history thesis. This is the exact system that I've installed into over 200 men, and it's allowed them to go from complete beginners when it came to daytime cold approach to getting dates on demand with wife-worthy women using nothing but their authentic selves. So it's a really cool blog. It's completely free, so you might as well read it. If you're having a shit today, then it's light entertainment. So first link below this video, you can gobble it up. Steal my system. But the difference between successive rejection and sporadic rejection. So if all you know is just rejection, 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 then something is clearly going wrong. Yeah. And I would suggest get some form of feedback. Yeah. It doesn't need to be from me, but find somebody who you've got to a level where you know, like, and trust them, and just get them to give you some honest, no bullshit feedback. If you've got a good circle of friends, just say, boys, listen, like, where would you rate me right now on a scale of 1 to 10? And if they're good friends, they'll give you brutally honest feedback, because you might stink, you might have terrible breath, you might dress terribly, you might be out of shape, you might be fat, you might have bad social skills. There's so many things, and you don't know what you don't know. And the girl is very much your mirror. So she'll reflect back to you how the rest of the world sees you. So it is important that you honor this feedback. This is more so if all you're experiencing is rejection, rejection, rejection. So maybe you are walking over to women and the women are just not stopping for you. Maybe they are stopping, but you're not getting a phone number. Maybe your conversations are just turning into nothing. Like, all of this is feedback, okay? So it's important that you actually do pay attention to what the world is mirroring back to you, because it could be a character trait problem. It could be we'll call it outer game problem. So the way that you're actually presented. Remember, looks do matter, but there's a big difference between looking good and being good looking. And it's within any man's power to improve upon what he's been given and play his hand to the best of his ability. If you don't believe me, just look at me 5 years ago. Go back, watch the oldest videos on my channel. Someone once described me as a mortician with a squirrel stapled to his head. So I'm a living, breathing example that you can improve upon what you've been given. Yeah, fitness, fashion, finances, all these things you can improve upon. All these things you can take what you've been given and then start to improve it. You don't need to become some Greek god. You don't need to look like you just come off the front cover of Men's Health. You don't need biceps the size of fucking coconuts. You just need to take care, because I found that your external appearance will feed into your internal perception. And I do believe that once you've got to a level where you actually like yourself, because this is a game of feeling abundant, okay? This is probably the most important part of this live stream, so pay attention to this. Whenever I'm making decisions now, whenever I'm viewing parts of myself, the world, I'm viewing it either through the lens of abundance or scarcity. So when you feel abundant, let's say, imagine somebody just wired $300 million into your bank account tax free. Let's say you look at your online banking and voila, you've now got more money than you know what to do with. That emotional state is, I believe, what we're searching for. This is super abundance. And I use the financial example because I think it's the easiest to understand energetically. But imagine if you had $300 million right now. Imagine your emotional state. Imagine how generous, imagine how non needy, how carefree, how detached from outcome you would be. Or imagine you had 10 beautiful women in your phone who were desperate to go on a date with you tonight. Imagine how you would feel emotionally. Imagine how that would allow you to show up in the world abundantly, non needy, more carefree, more generous, more detached from outcome. Because this is the emotional state we want to be in. But I think most relationship problems, they're not relationship problems. They're usually personal problems, which become relationship problems. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of guys today, and I used to be in this position for most of my life, most guys are operating in they're operating in an emotional frequency of scarcity. Okay, and when you're in this place of scarcity where you're so terrified of doing the wrong thing or making the wrong step or losing in some way, then a lot of the time, this is what causes the rejection to feel more fierce. So if you're feeling scarce and you don't feel as though you're worthy, you don't feel as though you're good enough, maybe you've been conditioned to think that approaching women is wrong in some way, and you're worried, if I do this thing, I might lose. If you're going out and you're being rejected, then these rejections will sting, because it's almost like you haven't got this, it's like this cloak of invincibility around you. When you feel abundant, when you're on top of things in your life, when you do have this good sense of self, and you understand that it really does come down to the more you open, the more you close. Remember, you are going out there to find your fuck yeses. The majority of women are just not going to be into you yet, and that's okay. If you read that great piece of literature, it's called A Thousand True Fans. And really the point of that article is, imagine you're building, let's say, a business on social media. People think that you need to be famous in order to have an incredible personal brand, but really you need to be famous for a few. Because if you've got 1,000 people who love what you do and they buy every product that you put out there, if you've got 1,000 people, let's say, paying you $1,000, you've got a profitable, lucrative business there. So really, in the game of business, in the game of dating, it's about finding your people. And you don't need a lot of people. In fact, dating is even easier than business, because realistically, in dating, you only need one, right? You don't need 1,000, you just need one. And I think this is a mindset that certainly helps a lot of guys. If you are coming more from a scarcity mindset, maybe you've not received love from the feminine for a long time, maybe you're watching your friends settle down, start families, have children, you're thinking, oh fuck, have I missed the boat? You only need one. Okay, you only need one woman to think that you are fucking awesome, to have an incredible dating life. And the beautiful thing is, once you meet your woman, it wasn't that approach that got you her. It was all of the actions that you took up to that point. So a really cold approach, it's almost like investing into the stock market. It's the compounding interest over time. So every rejection, every no, every undesirable outcome that you're experiencing right now, it's all preparation, it's all practice for you meeting her. Yeah, and this is why it's so crucial. If you are going to start with something like daytime cold approach, you get super crystal clear clarity on what you're in it for. if you want a wife, if you want a girlfriend, if you want to have multiple partners, if you want to become more socially confident, it's so important that you've got a clear why at the start. Because, like I said earlier, this will allow you to overcome all of the obstacles because you've got that clear why. You've fallen in love with the thing, you've fallen in love with your future. So rejection, it is a rite of passage. If you're not getting rejected, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. But if all you're experiencing is rejection, then you need some form of feedback. I would suggest start off, read the article that I've linked below. It'll take you through my entire anti-game artistry thesis. You can see the guys who it's worked for. You can see if it's something that would work for you. And I really put a lot of emphasis on this notion of repulsion, because if everybody likes you, you're not living, you're hiding. And I think polarization is profitable. And a lot of times it comes down to knowing yourself as well. Because I receive lots of sweet commentary on the daily basis. People might watch my videos and say, "Oh, Christian, you're a shit coach," or "your conversations are bad," or whatever the sweet commentary is. At this point, if somebody says, "Oh, you're a bad coach," at this point, it's like somebody saying, "I'm Chinese," right? Because I think once you know yourself, rejection, hate, feedback that you're getting, which you might not like, it just bounces off you. Because it's like, well, yeah, dude, like it's just bullshit. So I think in order to deal with rejection, get clear on what you want. Recognize that you only need one woman to have an incredible dating life. Like in my experience, after working with over 200 guys, most guys just want to be wanted. Most guys just want to have a best friend who they can have sex with. So, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great goal. So, I think it's good to get clear on what your goal is. Recognize that if you are having successive rejections, view it as feedback. Yeah, actually take a look at yourself and be like, right, what can I actually improve? Is it something about your conversation skills? Start recording the audio of your conversations. Nobody does this, but it's the easiest way to make progress fast with cold approach specifically, is just record the audio of your conversations in the same way that high ticket closers record their sales conversations. You don't know what you don't know until you listen back, until you've got some form of reference point, because you might be talking too fast. You might be giving off gay best friend vibes. You might lack polarity. Your conversations might just be flat. You might not be asking the right questions. You might not be talking enough about yourself. This is a big reason as well why girls end up flaking, is she can leave that conversation feeling as though she didn't even know anything about you. Like, it's fine to talk about yourself. This is what guys like. Usually, it's these guys who don't even cold approach, and guys who don't even get results from cold approach. They'll watch conversations like mine, and they'll say like, "Oh, you're talking too much. You're talking too much about yourself." In my experience, this is exactly what you need to do. This is how you violently differentiate yourself. It's by talking about who you actually are. Who is this guy who's just approached this beautiful woman? She needs some context. She needs to know who you are, what you do, and then if you've got a Instagram profile which shows that you are the person who you say you are. Remember, use Instagram as a landing page. In 2025, it's inexcusable if you don't have some form of social media presence, because one of the biggest reasons why girls will flake on you isn't because you're ugly, isn't because you're not funny, or isn't because you're not witty or charming. Usually it comes down to a lack of social proof. Is this guy safe? Right? And Instagram is the easiest way to convey social proof. It's a great way to convey pre-selection, speak to more of the female attraction triggers like risk taker, leader of men. You can show pictures with your family. If you've got a dog, post a picture with your dog. Like, Instagram is one of the easiest ways to have conversations, call approach conversations that convert. Because if you're just walking over to a woman stone cold sober and she doesn't have any context about you, then it's difficult for her sometimes to make that leap to go on a date with you. So it makes the cold approach easier for her if there's a landing page, such as an Instagram profile, that she can go over to, see, oh, this guy's cool. This guy's got a life. This guy's got friends. Oh, this guy seems to have a good relationship with his parents. That's nice. Maybe now I'll go on a date with him. So, yeah, I've got a full free guide on Instagram. So just type in Christian Casanova Instagram. But yeah, rejection, it is what it is. One of the things that I make my guys aware of before we do any form of coaching is, listen, dude, today you're going to get your ass absolutely battered, right? You're going to get rejected. You're going to get rejected today more than you've ever got rejected in your entire life. That's the fucking point. right? Because if you're not prepared to put yourself through the social fire, learn through action, and forge a new identity through the fires of adversity, then cold approach isn't for you, right? Cold approach is not for the faint of heart, right? Cold approach is it's for the rebels, it's for the mavericks, it's for the renegades, it's for the guys who are pissed off with their current situation, the guys who know nobody else is coming to save them, guys who've probably felt soft their entire life, guys who know that they're capable of more, but maybe they've not had the support, the accountability, or the brotherhood to get them to where they want to be. So it's not for the faint of heart, right? It really is going to make a man out of you. This is why I describe it as a modern day rite of passage. It's not pretty at times, and you are going to get your bollocks emotionally kicked. You're going to realize you're not as fuckable or attractive or compelling as you initially thought. But I look back at myself 5 years ago and I respect that version of me so much who just said fuck it and prioritized taking imperfect action. Because that's what it is about at the start. It's a prioritization of imperfect action. And this is one of the reasons why my clients get the results that they do. Because, first of all, I see my former version, the former version of me. I see that in my clients. I see the kid that was scared. I see that insecure little boy who just wanted to be wanted. I see the fear of not receiving love from the feminine. But the thing that I say to my guys is, listen, we're not here to be perfect. We're here to just show up. We're here to progress. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'm with you every step of the way, but I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your coach. Like, I am addicted to your success because your success is attached to my reputation. Right. So I need you to be successful. So as soon as you paid me money and I'm invested into your success, motherfucker, you're going all the way to the moon, because that's those are the standards that I hold myself to. It's like I'm going all the way to the top and I'm taking my people with me. Like, if you've come across my content right now, this is like stumbling across Bitcoin in 2008. I don't think anybody realizes the trajectory that I'm actually on. And all the guys who are associated with me right now, dude, the things that we are achieving, the places that we're going to go is fucking electric. So it's not just cold approach. This is life game mastery. Right? This is a two middle finger salute to the society that just wants to keep you as a shackled, good little boy. Oh, work your job, ask for permission when you're allowed to go for a shit. So this really is for the rebels. It's for the mavericks. It's for the renegades. It's for the guys who want to recreate themselves into something extraordinary. But in the way of all this, it's not pretty. Yeah. And you are going to get your bollocks kicked metaphorically. But what matters most is how well you walk through the fire. And success, really, I think it was Churchill that said, success is being able to go from one failure to another without losing enthusiasm. And this is really the characteristic that I see in the guys who excel the most when it comes to cold approach, business, fitness. It's the guys who just have this doggedness, the guys who can get knocked down and just keep getting back up time after time after time. That's what I really look for in my clients. It's not perfect conversations. It's not flawless text game. It's not how many conversations they're able to convert into dates and beyond. It's your attitude, it's your resilience, it's your ability to pick yourself back up, to say and call yourself out when you are being a little bitch, and continue to go. Because, like, what's the alternative, dude? Like, what sort of life do you want to live? What sort of father do you want to become? What sort of legacy do you want to leave behind? Do you want to be that little bitch who just stood on the sidelines thinking, what if? Or do you want to become an active player? Because I think once you have begun an unorthodox odyssey like daytime cold approach, you actually realize what you're capable of, and it becomes the catalyst, the springboard for the rest of your life. If it wasn't for cold approach, I never would have left my 9 to 5 job. I never would have traveled to over 30 different countries. I never would have started training Muay Thai in Bangkok. I never would have started online business. I never would have become a coach. I never would have got past self-limiting beliefs that I thought were impossible to break. Like, I owe so much to this process of daytime cold approach, and I've seen the impact it's had on my life. And I used to think I was confident before I got started with daytime cold approach because I was a magician for 10 years. I thought, this will be easy. You know, I know how to approach people. I know how to have conversations. But I realized I just had situational confidence. Take away my deck of cards, I was just that scared little boy again. Really, cold approach allows you to develop core confidence. No matter what, I can handle it. Throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. So I'd suggest for you, click the first link underneath this video, read my anti-game artistry thesis, install that into your own dating life. Maybe watch this live stream back a couple of times so the lessons actually sink in. And I've also got a video on my main channel, which is I approached 33 women to overcome my fear of rejection. I think that's one of the best videos that I've ever released. And that video shows in real time that rejection is not going to ruin you. I show you in real time what happens when you go out with the intention of being rejected, when you just have this ZFG or zero fucks given mentality. So yeah, that's on. It's the main video on my channel. Click the first link underneath this video if you want to steal my system. And yeah, I'm doing a live stream every single day until my birthday on the 12th of January. So I really hope that these are somewhat useful. If you have enjoyed this stream, feel free to drop it a like. And if you've got any questions, this one's important. If you have got any questions you would like me to answer, then drop me a DM on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is Christian Casanova Dating. I read all of my DMs. So if you've got something specific that you would like help with, then view this almost like a coaching hotline until the 12th of January. So yeah, if you've got questions, Instagram at Christian Casanova Dating, send me a DM, whether it's a written word or a voice message, and I'll dedicate a live stream to your question. Sorry, I'll keep it fully anonymous, so nobody needs to know that it was you asking a question if that is a concern for you. So yeah, DM me, Christian Casanova Dating. Click the first link underneath this video if you want to steal my anti-game artistry system, and drop the live stream a like if you've enjoyed it. All right, fellas, I love yous. I'll speak to you again.